Hi, I'm here to talk to you about healthcare. More importantly, universal healthcare and why it is important to you. What is universal healthcare, you ask? Well, simplistically defined, universal healthcare is a healthcare system underwritten by a country's government that allows healthcare to all of its citizens, all of its constituents. Currently in the United States, we do not have such a thing. We have a for-profit free market system which is benefiting only one type of person, and that type of person and the higher up execs and the CEOs and the presidents and all that stuff, all those people of big insurance companies. With universal health care, it puts patient care as number one and moves us to a system where insurance companies do not dictate what we are to do with our bodies, but doctors are dictating what we are doing. There are no restrictions because, oh, the health insurance company said you could not have this procedure, you need to have this procedure. It allows doctors to practice medicine. What are some countries that have health care, you ask? Universal health care, you ask? Well, I have a printout here that shows you some of them. You can see Brazil, Canada, China, Portugal. Some of the countries that are not on here are Germany and France, and they are leading the way in healthcare reform. And that's who we should be setting our sights on as being like. What are current healthcare costs, you ask, in the United States? Well, with the current system, this is according to the United States Census. The average lifetime cost of just healthcare of an average person not getting sick, living to about 74 to 78 years old, is $225,000. With, you can see, 18% of that coming within the last year of the person's life. All right? Well, with universal healthcare, throw that out the window for sure. All right, healthcare costs would go greatly down. All these countries that you see here reduce their GDP according to the U.S. Census and U.S. government data, reduce their GDP by 4 to 6% annually on healthcare costs. Again, this is a fact put out by the U.S. Census that says that by 2019, the average cost per family will be $30,000 a year for healthcare costs. According to the U.S. Census, do you know what the average cost of average income is in the United States for a family of four? It's only $54,000. So by 2019, with that rate of increase, which is 166% from current day, most people will be spending the majority of their check on health insurance. However, if we switch to a universal healthcare system, that will not be the case. Universal healthcare will maintain. Here are some pros for universal healthcare. It's complete and automatic coverage for everybody. It becomes a God-given right that you are able to live and breathe and be happy and free and healthy. Let's see. In addition to that, there would be a centralized database that everybody would be housed in that makes accessing at any hospital right now or any doctor's office much easier, makes diagnosing easier. Forget all those questionnaires about, oh, have you been sick? Check all the boxes that apply. Do you have heart disease, diabetes, lung disease, history, cancer? All this stuff that you would have no idea. It's the doctor's burden to know. They would have housed there. Costs for health insurance, health care would go way through the roof. There wouldn't be, $500,000 operations while the insurance company's collecting 60 to 70% of that cost. In addition to that, you'd be able to pick your own doctors and nurses and general practice and dentists and specialists and Botox treatments. You'd be able to go wherever you would like, you as the patient. And most importantly, the most important thing about universal healthcare is that it puts the number one thing back into healthcare, which all doctors and nurses and other healthcare providers have to swear to in their medical ethics review, which is the most important thing is patient care, putting the patient first. It doesn't matter about anything else, putting the patient first. Currently, insurance companies do not put the patient first. They put making money and the bottom line first, and that is not beneficial to us. It is only beneficial to them. With universal health care, there are plenty of countries, developed countries, that have implemented it successfully that we need to follow suit on. We need to be like the likes of Germany and France and Italy and China and Russia and the UK and so forth. I hope this has enlightened you on what universal health care is, and I hope that is something that you would strive for and vote for with candidates in upcoming elections.